We will begin by removing the rear-facing screws from the side panels and storing them off to the side in a safe place. Now that we have the computer open, we will begin by unplugging everything from the power supply. So, to remove the graphics card in this particular case, it is being held in by two screws over here, which hold it to the back of the case. So I'm going to remove those first using a small screwdriver. Once the screws are removed, I can push the little switch here and then gently remove the card from its slot. Next, while holding your power supply, make sure you unscrew these small screws along the back that attach it to the frame of the case. Okay. Next, I will be removing the RAM or memory from the computer. In order to remove them, you just have to push down the corresponding tabs. Removing the processor is actually a couple steps. First, we need to remove the fan and heatsink from the top of the processor. Okay. Next, we'll remove the processor. This one is very crucial. The processor is the heart and soul of your computer, so we'll make sure we're destatic. Double, triple check. Then we will push down and move over the heavy latch and flip open the processor holder. You can see this is very dusty, so I'm going to go ahead and just give it a quick spray to get that dust out of the way. And then we're going to very gently grab the processor by its edges and pull it up and off. Before we continue to remove the motherboard, we can also now remove the hard drive and CD drive, which had screws on both sides. That's why we had to remove this side as well. So I'll start by unscrewing the hard drive, which is down here, and then I will start unscrewing the CD drive located here. Now that these are removed, I'll first remove the hard drive located here, and it's just as easy as grabbing it and sliding it out. To remove the CD drive is very similar to the hard drive now that we have it unscrewed, except instead of pulling it back into the case to pull it out, we will push it out through the front of the case. Alright, so next is removing the motherboard, the final piece. So now you should be able to grab onto your motherboard. I have a nice little extra heat sink here that I can grab onto that's permanently attached. So I can grab onto there. Just gently pull the motherboard out, making sure not to bang it on the sides of the case. Alright, so we're going to start by inserting the motherboard into the case. Next, we're going to go ahead and add the processor to this. So we'll go ahead and pop open our assembly here. There are two notches right here on the side that actually fit only one way into the processing area. So it'll go in just like this. Should fit nice and snug in there. And we just go ahead and flip this over. And then we pull this down. Now this will feel very, very tight, but that's okay. That's how it should feel. It should feel quite a bit of resistance there, but it should lock it in very tight so that it doesn't move whatsoever. Next, we will add our heat sink and fan back onto the top of the processor. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and plug in all of these small LED plugs that will correspond with the lights on the front of your computer to show whether your hard drive is working, whether it's powered on, or whether it's in standby, and so on. And those will all plug in right to here into their corresponding colors. Okay. Now that we have those all plugged in, we'll go ahead and reinsert our RAM. Alright, now that we have the RAM installed, we'll go ahead and install our graphics card. You can see I've cleaned out the fan here compared to how it used to be and blew out the rest. Next, we're going to go ahead and install our hard drive. Now that we have the plastic frame onto our hard drive, it's as simple as just sliding it right back into place. this in. Okay. Next, we'll be reinstalling our CD drive. So next, we'll be reassembling the power supply to the case. Alright, and now we come to the longest and most tedious step of plugging in all of the different powers. Alright, so I got everything plugged in, and I've already reassembled the side panel here and plugged in the last plug for these two side fans. All I had to do left was to screw back in the screw on the back, and now the computer is good to go. That concludes our session on how to disassemble and then reassemble into a new case a computer desktop. Thank you for your time.